Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, say hello in the chat, please. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Brian. Thank you, Miss Foster. Hello, Mr. Puckett. We're going to get started in about 1 minute. You should see a countdown on your screen. Really excited for today's topic. Hello, Shelby. Always love seeing you. Hello, Mr. Jason. Hello, Mr. Blackman, Miss Melanie, Mr. Schoner. Hello, Miss Hamlin. Hello, Mr. Vito. All right, we got people pouring in. I love it. Oh, Mr. Vito, nice hat. We are matching. I like it, looking sharp. Hello, Miss Gordon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. I am super pumped to go over the content engine machine. Most of you are probably in our martial arts entrepreneurs group, and you might have noticed over the last few months that we have been posting a lot of content. If you've recognized that and you're in the martial arts entrepreneurs group, just kind of drop a yes that you've seen the videos, you've seen the posts. We have really been on a mission over the last couple of months. And I'm really excited to unpack exactly how we've done that and the growth that we've seen in our agency with this organic style of marketing. All right. On today's webinar, you might kind of have noticed some cool new technology. I am testing some new technology. I have practiced a few times, but I'm really excited to use it. And today, ultimately, we are going to be going over the importance of content marketing, why this needs to be a part of your strategy. I'm going to break down my 6-step framework, and I'm actually going to walk you through like an actual live example on how you can implement this in your academy. And then you're going to have some action steps. You are going to have some homework because knowledge isn't enough. We have to implement what we are learning. Okay, I see a lot of people just hopping in. Real quick, guys, in the chat, let me know where you're from. Drop your city and your state. I love seeing the chat go. That keeps me pumped. That keeps me excited. It's like almost like refilling my gas tank. So I want this to be an engaging webinar, not just a one way where I'm speaking to you or at you. Ooh, we got a lot of Texans, got some Florida, awesome, Tennessee, South Carolina, more Texas. We will actually be in Texas this week for Maya's Dallas Elite event. Really excited. We'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It is a sold out event. So if you didn't get tickets, we do have another event in August in Orlando. And this is going to be more for kind of smaller schools. And then we have a Tampa event in my hometown in October, which is super exciting. So guys, you know, I think one of my biggest frustrations from 2020 was the lack of in-person events. Virtual is great, but there's just something really powerful about the community of going to in-person events. So if you haven't been to one yet this year, go. You're going to make some really, really great, friends. You're going to learn a ton of knowledge. It doesn't have to be a Maya event. There are other events out there, but that should definitely be on your calendar. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. It's going to be about an hour training today. We will send out the recording and we'll also send you the slides. I know that's a question that pops up pretty often. So in the replay email, you will get that. All right. So let's go ahead and switch over. If you guys can see my slides, you just kind of give me a thumbs up that you can see it if you got your camera up. Thank you, Miss Hamlin. Perfect. Okay, here we go. So the content engine machine, building better content faster. I've worked with lots of school owners. I've done tons of marketing audits. And one of the often missing puzzle pieces for school owners is they just don't have enough content. And it can be, pretty frustrating not knowing what to shoot, how to shoot, or how to implement it. And I think there's three major frustrations. The first frustration is you're just not good or comfortable on camera, specifically Facebook Lives, all right? I feel like this is probably the number one hurdle that I see for school owners is they just don't feel comfortable on camera. Some of you did not grow up with today's technology, are more vintage folks on the call, so it doesn't come as natural to you. But it is a skill that you can develop, but you got to practice. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be you, the school owner. It can be your instructor. It could be your program director, your general manager. But somebody on your team has got to feel comfortable getting in front of the camera. I think another major frustration is you have no idea what to create, what to film, or what to write. And this was something that I ran into. And my answer for it is going to be very simple for you to implement it. Because ultimately, guys, what we don't want is to be staring at a blank screen. And then finally, major frustration is you just don't know how to implement it, right? Maybe you shot a bunch of content. Maybe you, wrote out some content, but you just don't know where or how to implement it, all right? So if those are the frustrations, what do we ultimately want? Okay, well, I don't know if you'd want Oscar acting skills, but you definitely want to feel comfortable on camera. Can you guys just let me know in the chat, yes, I'm comfortable on camera, or no, I'm not comfortable on camera? Just keep it real, be honest. Yes, I'm comfortable. No, I'm not. Well, Joe Lozon, you better be comfortable on camera, Mr. UFC fighter. Getting more comfortable. We got some no's, we got some yeses. Yes, I wasn't at first, but I worked through it. I love that. Shelby says, helps when I'm having a good hair day. Yeah, why do you guys think I'm always wearing hats? You don't have to worry about a good hair day when you wear a hat. Awesome. In the middle, I live for the camera, Mr. Chansey says. I love it. Ms. Foster, I'm comfortable. I host the Monday info show for our dojo for the parents. Love it. Very good. Okay. So that's what we want. We want to feel comfortable on the camera. And we also want an ever-flowing list of topics. This is, a major hurdle that school owners go through. Chris, I know I'm supposed to be filming content. I know I'm supposed to be writing content, but I just don't know what to write, okay? And I think we ultimately just need some guidance and we need a framework. And that's what we are going to be unpacking today, is the 6-step framework that I use to put out a piece of content every single day, all right? So these are 3 mistakes I want you to make sure you do not continue to make. There's nothing wrong with making it once, but we don't want to continue to make these mistakes. Number 1 is you don't practice. Like Miss Hamlin said, she didn't feel comfortable at first, but she practiced and now she feels more comfortable. Kind of crazy how that happens, right? One of your students, they don't feel comfortable with a sidekick. What are you going to tell them to go do? Go practice it, okay? Another mistake is that you don't collaborate. You don't have to do all of this on your own. If you have a team, you've got to put your heads together with coming up with topics. If you guys met for 15 or 20 minutes, I know that you would be able to spew out 20, 30, 40 different topics that you can use in this framework that I'm about to teach. And then finally, you don't batch. All right, guys, this is like one of the hacks you can say with content marketing. All right, trying to create it on a daily basis is very difficult. I think we can all agree that there's certain times during the week where we feel more creative than other times during the week. I know for me, my sweet spot is between like 9 a.m. and noon. That's when I feel the most creative, and on specific days throughout the week, depending on what's going on. Most podcasters, in order to be able to be consistent with their podcast, they don't shoot one a week. They shoot a few of them and then they drip them out. And this is the exact process that you're going to need to go through as well. Okay. So if you implement content marketing, which I truly believe is mission critical for growth in martial arts schools, it is one of the most effective methods of growing audience engagement, developing your brand presence, and driving leads and sales. You're ultimately going to get better traction on social media. This is something that I've spoken in depth with Shelby. So Shelby is over at, she's in Orlando, and she wears many, many hats, but she works for CMA, and she's responsible for all of the organic content for their 10 schools. I mean, it's hard enough posting for one school. Imagine having to post for 10 schools. The best known business beats the best business. And having this framework and shooting these videos is just going to help you get better traction on social media. It's also going to help you build trust with your audience. How many of us tell school owners that, tell prospects that martial arts develops confidence and discipline and respect, right? We're always saying that, but how does it do it? And are you relaying that in your messaging online? And if you're not, you should be. You're gonna generate more and better leads, all right? I believe that the absolute best type of lead is a referral lead, okay? It's the easiest to convert when you have a referral lead. And you can generate referral quality leads with great content marketing because you're constantly in front of them. You'll ultimately become the authority in your town. I mean, we're all experts. Many of us have been in this industry for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Okay, you are an expert in your craft. You got to act like one. And if you're not going to become the authority and the expert in your town, guess who will be? Your competitors will be, all right? And finally, you will ultimately save money on your marketing strategy, okay? When we think organic, we think slow. And when we think paid marketing, we think fast, but you gotta pay to play. And what most people don't understand is the Facebook algorithm, when you are actually running paid ads, it looks at the engagement that you have on your Facebook business page. And if you have a ton of engagement, if you have a ton of likes and hearts and comments and shares, it can actually help bring down your cost of paid advertising. I call it like an ecosystem. They work together, your organic strategy and your paid strategy, okay? If you are ready for me to break down the 6-step framework, type yes in the chat, and we are gonna go over to the drawing board. I wanna see a ton of yeses in here. I got 2, I got 3. All right, awesome. So we're gonna head over to the drawing board. I'm gonna grab my drink here real quick. Boom. All right, thumbs up if you can, or yeah, give me a thumbs up, or can you guys see my hand over here moving? All right, cool. So about 3 years ago, I launched something called the 8-Week Marketing Mastermind. If you took the 8-Week Marketing Mastermind, drop a 1 in the comments, or if you've heard of the 8-Week Marketing Mastermind. I know for a lot of you, that's how we initially met. We've had hundreds and hundreds of school owners go through the 8-week marketing mastermind. And the last one that I taught was actually, bring it back to the main camera here. It was actually right when COVID was starting. And I ended up teaching this 8-hour of one day. I took the 8 weeks and compressed it into this one 8-hour, just A to Z, soup to nuts, everything that school owners needed to be able to do in order to run their own ads. And I get a lot of school owners that ask, like, Chris, can I buy the recorded version? Well, you can, but I don't recommend it because it's outdated, because there are constant changes with Facebook. So because of that, and I wanted to just kind of start anew with, COVID kind of being over for the majority of us. And what I've done is I've rebranded it, and we're calling it Marketing School. I have my degree in elementary education. I absolutely love teaching. And in Marketing School, one of the main focuses that we're going to have is this engine machine. A lot of school owners, they don't have consistent lead flow. They lack the skills that they need to be able to market. And then they don't have any content to be able to market. And I don't know about you, but in my school, Gracie Pack, I want to have consistent lead flow. I want my team to become skill collectors so that they are able to post on Facebook and Google and YouTube. And I also want them to be able to create content that converts. So with the engine machine here, if we had content right in the middle, because in order to post, you got to have some form of content. There's really 3 aspects to this content. You got to have topics that you can actually post about, right? And I think that's where a lot of school owners struggle, is they just start staring at a blank screen. Wouldn't it be so much easier if you just kind of had a plug and play model and you had just a flow of topics? The next thing is the framework. And then finally, it's implementation. Once you have that content, how do I implement it? And today is all about this framework right here. So I want everybody to grab a pen, and I want you to write down these 6 different frameworks, okay? So the first framework, and I'm just gonna put it over here just so we have a little bit more room, and I'll do a different color to make it easier. The first part of the framework is branding. So everybody write branding down. That's number 1. Number 2, we got to make a promise. We got to let them know these are the expectations you can have if you spend a couple of minutes with us. Then we want to plant the seed, because we want them to understand why it is so important, whatever it is, whatever the topic is that we are speaking on. Then we're going to do what we all do best, which is teach. And this is where the bulk of the video or the written piece of content will be. Next, we need to give them a call to action. Many times I see school owners put out content, but there's no call to action at the end. You got to tell them what you want them to do. Even if it's just dropping an emoji or give me a GIF or, heart my post, that's going to keep them interacting with you. And it'll also make sure that you're showing up in their news feed more often. And then finally, we're going to have a sign off. Okay. So these are the 6 steps to the framework. So now let's go ahead and do an actual example of how to implement that. If you got those 6 steps, give me a yes in the chat. Or if you got your camera on, thank you to those of you that have your camera on. It just makes it a lot more fun for me as well, okay? So let's break this down with an actual live example, okay? So branding. I chose the topic of, so I'm a BJJ and an MMA school. So I chose the topic of 3 steps to stop every bully in their tracks. Okay, so that was the topic of this piece of content that we are going to be putting out. I personally, when I started really going hard into this framework, I was doing 5 videos a week. There was a video being posted every single day of the week. And what I started to notice was that the engagement dropped down a little bit as I continued to do a video every single day. So then what I started to do was I just started to alternate with video and then written content, video and written content. And this is why. If you prefer to watch a piece of content via video, type video. If you prefer to read, type written. And let's just see what the majority of people in here like. Written, 2 reads, video, written, video. All right, you guys see it's kind of like an even split. It's about 50-50. So when we're creating our content, we don't only want to do one visual mix of that content. All right, so this framework will work if you're writing out a piece of content, and it'll also work if you are filming a video. All right, so the topic is 3 steps to stop every bully in their tracks. So the first thing we're going to do is branding. We need to let them know who we are, where we're from, and who we want to talk to. All right, that's it. Who we are, where we're from, and who we want to talk to. Okay, so the branding for this video, very simple. If this is my martial arts school, I'm talking to parents in my city. So, hey, Tampa parents, this is Professor Chris with Gracie Pack MMA. Pretty simple. Okay, hey, Tampa parents, this is Professor Chris with Gracie Pack MMA. Okay, step number 2 is the promise. On this video, what is the promise that you are going to make? Well, I'm just going to repeat the topic. On this video, I wanted to go over the 3 steps to stop every bully in their tracks. Simple enough. Just need to make sure that I follow through on that promise. The 3rd step is you got to plant the seed. And this is really where the why comes into place, okay? Now, on my kind of, keynote here, you're going to notice that I'm not writing out this full long script, okay? For this particular one, I just have a couple of bullet points here. If you absolutely want to take the time to write out every single word to make sure that it's absolutely perfect, you can. But it's going to make this more time consuming. And the more time consuming it is, then probably the not as committed that you're going to be towards it. So what I've been doing, because perfectionist in me wanted to have every single word using a teleprompter to make sure that I hit every single point. And again, it was just super time consuming. So what I've been doing, instead of writing out a full-on script and utilizing the teleprompter, is I've just been bullet pointing the major points that I want to touch on. So for this example, where we're talking about the 3 steps to stop every bully in their tracks, and we're planting the seed of why this is so important, I'm going to use the example of comparing swimming to self-defense. And recently, within the last couple of months, there was this really, really cool post. It was, looked like a white belt in a jiu-jitsu gi. It was this guy. It was like a cartoon drawn image. And he was drowning in the water with his head above the water. And he had like all these sea animals holding him down. And it kind of exploded as a viral piece of content in the martial arts. And it was comparing martial arts to swimming. Did anybody see that? Has anybody seen that post of the guy who looked like he was drowning? Ms. Hamlin, yes. Mr. Lozon, yes. Ms. Palos, yes. Okay. Very, very powerful post. And I think just a really great example of comparing martial arts and explaining it as a life skill very similar to swimming. So if I was planting the seed in this video, I would say, and guys, being authentic, people identify with that. All right. So I would say, we recently had a baby. He's 15 months old. His name is Cruz. We live in Florida. Every corner you turn, there is a body of water. whether it's a pool or a pond or a lake or the ocean. And we have a pool in our backyard. And even though we got the gate that goes around it, it was very important to us that our son Cruz learned how to swim. Why? Because there will be a time in his life where he will encounter a body of water, and we want him to be able to swim. Self-defense and training martial arts is the exact same life skill as swimming. There will be a time in your child's life where they will encounter a bully. And with this 3-step framework that we teach our students at Gracie Pack, you as a parent can be confident that they will know how to diffuse the situation. All right. So the seed, we're just planting the importance of why what we are doing is important. Okay. The next part is the fun part, because this is what most of your zone of genius is. You guys are great teachers. Okay. So in our school, we do teach a 3-step framework. And I mean, think of your own, your own strategies when you're teaching your students. So this is very popular. The Gracies made this very popular. It's called the 3 T's: talk, tell, tackle. So in this portion of the video, I'm just going to break down what each one of these steps are. Okay, so at Gracie Pack, we teach our students the 3 T's to stop any bully situation. The first T is you got to talk confidently to the bully. Even though we're a martial arts school, we're not here to teach punching and kicking first. We want to be able to use our words and our body language to teach our students how to stop a bully in its tracks first. Next, after they talk to the bully, if the bully is persisting, they need to tell a trusted adult. Go and find help. And then finally, if the bully continues, we are going to tackle them with verbal jujitsu first, letting them know that if they don't stop, we will make them stop. And if their life feels in danger, we will tackle them down to the ground. So that is the teaching framework of the 6 steps. And this is really where the bulk of your video or your written post will be. Okay. After we teach, we need to have a call to action. There's nothing wrong with having a call to action at the end of your videos or your posts. Why? Well, 1, because it's an easy way for them to potentially become a new student. But 2, as they interact more and more with your business, it is going to help your business show up more in their newsfeed. All right. So that engagement is super important. And it doesn't have to be grab a free intro lesson. It can be, give us a like, give us a heart, share this, comment below. It could be drop your favorite GIF or your favorite emoji. In this example, if you'd like your child to grab a free Bully Buster intro lesson, comment below. What is a Bully Buster intro lesson? It's our normal complimentary one-on-one that we offer to our students. Okay. And then finally, the 6th step is just a sign off. Okay. And you can keep it really simple. If you watch a lot of my videos, I usually say like Chris Rodriguez signing off, peace. Sometimes I'll say thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. But you can also get them prepared for the next video that you're going to be releasing in the following week. Be sure to check out next week's video as we uncover the top 3 life skills every elementary school child should know. Professor Chris signing off. Okay, so those are the 6 steps that I use every single time I am filming a video. If you've seen my videos and it kind of like clicks with the framework that I'm using, give me a 1 in the comments. If you've seen any of my content, and now that you know the framework, it's like, oh, okay, that kind of like makes sense on how she is creating this. And again, guys, it doesn't have to be video content, but we just asked everybody in this group, and you had about a 50-50 of half of you preferred video, half of you preferred written. So you can use this exact framework even if you were just typing out a post. I do not suggest only posting text. All right. You know, 100% on Instagram, you can't just post text. I mean, you could, you know, type something and then screenshot it and then post it as an image, but these are visual platforms, and oftentimes just text gets lost in just in the newsfeed. So I would always suggest that if you are going to do written form content, then attach some form of an image to it to get people's attention on that piece of content. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to show you like how easy this truly is. So I want everybody just to start brainstorming on what could a potential topic that you feel confident enough in to either write a piece of content on or film a video. It could be, you know, Joe Lozon, he's got an MMA school, 3 ways to choke out a man unconscious, right? That's in line with his avatar. That's not in line with my avatar. I'm 80% kids school. All right. So I'm probably not going to put out a video about 3 ways to choke out a man unconscious. But Joe, it makes sense for him. Okay. So just kind of brainstorm here for a minute. And once you have an idea as a topic, drop it in the chat. Joe says, we're working on building our kids' numbers to get there. I know you are freaking crushing it. So does anything, and if you want to unmute, if that's easier, you know, you can go ahead and unmute, but I want to get a few topics in here, guys, because this is something that all of us can use. Okay, so Mr. Chansey, raising awareness on cyberbullying via social media. I love it. Perfect. Give me a couple of more topics, guys. Don't be shy. There's no such thing as a bad topic. Might not be a topic that we use today. Sifu Chang, how to get your kids off their electronics. Perfect. I love it. Give me a couple of more topics. It could be adult related. It could be kid related. 8 steps to turn dreams into goals. 4 keys to confidence. How martial arts builds fitness and focus. Is your kid the weird kid? We're weird too. Come be weird with us. I like that, J. Lau. Very good. Building social and teamwork skills through martial arts training. Awesome. Okay. Which one? Let me just see which one we're gonna walk through. Sifu Chang, I like this one. Can you unmute, sir?
Yes.
All right,
yes,
awesome. So how to get your kids off of their electronics. So step number 1 would be the branding. So if you were shooting this video, who are you talking to and how would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, of course, you know, I'm talking to the parents, you know, most likely a mom who's frustrated with her kids sitting on the iPad all day long and playing Nintendo Switch and not doing their homework and doing anything productive. You know, and my approach to this would always be our brand here. The way we always introduce ourselves is, you know, I introduce myself as, hey, you know, my name is David Chang from Wushu Central Martial Arts Academy, where we turn children into successful adults. And today I'm here to talk to you about what to do when your kids won't get off their electronics.
Perfect. Freeze right there. Did you guys hear how he dropped his tagline in there? Can you say that one more time, Sifu?
Yes. Yes, this is David Chang from Wushu Central Martial Arts Academy, where we turn children into successful adults.
Beautiful. Our tagline at our school is hard work pays off, right? Hey, Tampa parents, this is Chris Rodriguez from Gracie Pack MMA, where hard work pays off. And that's it. There's your branding. Easy enough? Step number 1, right? Okay. So step number 2, after we do the branding, what's the promise you're going to make? And I know you kind of went into this, Mr. Chang, but go ahead and let's restate. What's the promise that you are going to provide on this video?
Yeah. So parents, are your kids having a hard time getting off their electronics? I'm going to show you today how to make them not even want to stay on their electronics and have a great time doing other things that are way more productive.
Beautiful. That's the promise. He pulled in the topic that he stated was going to be in the video. Okay, the third thing, we got to plant the seed. And really what this is you're explaining why this is so important. So, Mr. Chang, why is this so important? And And I know I'm completely putting you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. No.
everybody
No,
knows
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. You know, parents' time is so limited. Your kids have a finite amount of time to really build the skills that are going to help them in their life. Video games is not doing it for them. So let me show you what we can do to really build the skills that your kids are going to need to succeed.
Beautiful. And now the fun part, right? And this is, again, where the bulk of the video or the written piece of content would take place. Now you teach. And the reason why I say it's the fun part, I mean, I don't think you open up a martial arts school unless you love teaching, right? Like, that's just kind of got to be in your blood if you're opening up a martial arts school. So just for time's sake, give me kind of the condensed version of teaching, you know, how to get the kids off the electronics.
Yeah. So one of the important things to realize, you know, as a parent is, if you let your kids do anything they want to do, they're going to do whatever's easiest and fun. And video games gives kids that really great dopamine rush. But what's awesome is that there are so many other things that can give kids that same dopamine rush, but are much more healthy for them. Martial arts is one of those things that's gonna really drive them. It's gonna help them. It's gonna help them become better human beings, and still they're gonna have a great time.
I love it. Perfect, right? And again, that's the condensed version. We would probably give a couple of examples of how our martial arts classes are just as fun as a video game, right? Guys, I love the number 3 for whatever reason. And I was taking this like linguistics course or something like that. And they were talking about anytime that you are about to have an argument with somebody, or you need to bring up something difficult and you're trying to get your point across, 1 doesn't do it, 2 doesn't do it, but 3 examples of whatever it is that you're talking, that kind of seals the deal with, hey, there's kind of no arguing, you know, going back and forth here. So I like 3. J. Lau says the power of triangles. You see some triangles over there as well. Yes. And I mean, pun intended, I'm assuming as well with jujitsu. If you've ever done jujitsu, heard of the triangle choke, one of the most powerful chokes out there. And then after we do the teaching, now we would have a call to action. So what would your call to action be?
Call to action is click on this link below. I've got a free ebook for you that'll give you more details on how you can help your children become successful.
I love it. And you know what's great about that call to action is that there's not a lot of customer friction there. And for people that are just getting to know your brand, and I'm going to touch on implementation here in a second, you know, maybe I'm not quite ready to start my child, and getting them in the funnel with something like an ebook. And guys, don't let like ebook, like how would I make it's a PDF file that they download. Like, don't think like, oh, there's no way I'd be able to create an ebook. Or it's literally type something up in a Word document, save it as a PDF. Now you have an ebook. All right. So what I love about having that call to action is that there is very limited customer friction, right? There's not a lot that they have to give, just name, email, and phone number. Now they're in your funnel. Hopefully you have lead nurturing sequences, emails, and text messages that prompt them to book that appointment. And if you do have those lead and nurture, you know, the nurture emails and text messages, they're just going to get to know you even more. All right. And then how would we sign off, sir? Great call to action. I love the ebook example. What would the sign off be?
Yeah, I would sign off with kind of the way I led, you know. Thanks so much for listening in. This is David Che from Wuxi Central Martial Arts Academy. We turn children into successful adults, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Boom. Guys, let's give Sifu Cheng 2 loud hand claps. All right. He had no idea I was about to call on him. That was, you know, just straight off the cuff. But I wanted to do that because this isn't that difficult. All right. You just got to sit down and you've got to actually do it. So whether you want to do it on pen and paper, whether you want to, you know, type it out in a Word document, you know, this is really all you need. You need the brand, you need the promise, you got to plant the seed. We're going to teach, we're going to have a call to action, and then we're going to have a sign off. And when you're filming this video, if you wanted to put it into a teleprompter, something like Big Voo, and type everything out, you could. But literally all you'd need is just a couple of bullet points that remind you and trigger the ideas that you are going to put in this video. All right. Me personally, I do everything on my iPad right here. It's just kind of easiest for me to do this. And guys, I mean, I have been a big proponent. If you've heard me talk about filming videos, I've been pushing Big Voo teleprompter since day one. And it works well. It does. It absolutely works well. If you are really looking for a picture perfect video, but it doesn't have to be picture perfect. People, people like love authenticity, and they love being able to see that you're human. So it doesn't have to be fully polished. Okay. So those are the 6 steps: brand, promise, seed, teach, call to action, and sign off. All right. So what do we do with this now? All right. What do we do with this? Let me bring it back to my screen share over here. All right. So in my opinion, content marketing really is mission critical in regards to growing online. All right. Content marketing, it isn't just the content that you're putting on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. It also includes your email marketing. It also includes your text message marketing as well. Okay. What I challenge you guys to do is to get with your team 20, 30 minutes tops and just say, listen, guys, we're going to go all in. We are going to commit to doing X amount of videos a week. And I need help coming up with topics. I mean, you guys just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just got 7 topics here when I put people on the spot without really kind of thinking about this and brainstorming with other people. You just got 7 topics right there. Okay. I would consider a couple of things. Okay. Number 1, I'm sure many of you might not currently still do it, but there was a time in your business where you answered the phone, right? Okay. What are the objections that you commonly get when you're on the phone? What are the questions that you commonly get when you're on the phone? Same thing during the sales presentation. I also like touching on what sets us apart, what makes us different from all of the other martial arts schools, what different processes and strategies, leadership programs, life skill programs, what styles do we teach? Okay. So you can just start creating a laundry list, and it's so much easier when you collaborate. For whatever reason, as school owners, we feel like we got to do it all on our own. You don't have to do it all on your own. Okay. So action step number 1 is I want you to book a team meeting with your team, and I want you to collaborate and come up with 12 topics. That's it. Just 12. We already have 7 in the chat box. Okay. Why 12? Because I'm challenging you to aim for 1 video a week, and that would get you through the next quarter, right? Everything in my businesses we look at as 90-day game plans. Okay. Yes, we have a 1-year game plan, but that 1-year game plan, if you don't revisit it quarterly, you're never going to hit it. Fuzzy targets don't get hit. So if you can aim for 1 video per week, that will get you through the end of quarter 3. Okay. But I got to keep it real here with you for a second. Okay. If you only post this on your Facebook business page, you aren't going to get as much engagement as you're going to want with the effort that you're putting in. All right. Facebook has pulled its reach back to 5.6%. 5.6%. So if you have thousands of followers, only 5.6% on average are going to see it. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do a ton of work and not have anybody watch it. So this is one of the benefits of having something like a community Facebook group. So we still post the video on my business page for GrowPro, but we also post it in the Martial Arts Entrepreneurs Group. You can also have a community Facebook group as well. It takes a while to build that up, guys, but the power of Facebook groups is that your people will get notifications. Chris, I don't have time to create a Facebook group. That's fine. Well, everything in our business, we pay with one of two things, our time and our energy, or our what? Our money. So if you don't want to do that kind of long-term play of building like a communal Facebook group for the people in your town, then you got to put money behind it. And this is where boosting comes into play, because you're going to spend this time doing these videos and only 5% of people are going to watch it. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm sure you've heard of Gary Vaynerchuk. He has very famously said that he shot videos for 2 years straight and nobody saw them. Just because people aren't necessarily engaging, that doesn't mean they're not seeing it. All right. I think one school owner, and I'm gonna call him out because his right hand is on here, Miss Faith Gordon. Josh Arsamont does a phenomenal job. Miss Gordon, how often is Mr. Arsamont posting on Facebook?
All the time.
All day, every day, right? Pictures, videos. This guy has videos from when he was like 5 years old doing martial arts, and they're all grainy. And I mean, it's amazing. Mr. Mark Moore of the Growth Dojo, he's a Maya client. Another great example of somebody constantly putting out content. Jay Lau, another amazing example. Follow his Instagram, follow his Facebook page, okay? Just because you might not be getting, and I think that's one of the hesitations for a lot of us, is when you speak in your martial arts school, do people listen to you when you're in your actual martial arts school? Yes, right? I mean, as instructors, we get put on this pedestal. And I think that there's a little bit, and it might just be in the back of our minds of like, man, what if nobody comments on this? What if nobody likes it or hearts it? It's the compound effect, guys. It will eventually help you, but it will take some time if you're only doing it organically and you're not boosting it and putting some money behind it. Now, that's the other reason why I said just come up with 12 topics. That's one video a week. Okay, I like using, about $150 to $200 budget just for organic, right? That doesn't include, like, when I say organic, I mean boosting. All right, that doesn't include my budget for, let's say, Google ads or ads in the Facebook Manager, but we put a couple of $100 aside every month to be able to boost our best content, because we don't want that best content to only get in front of 5% of people. We want it to get in front of more people, and that's where boosting comes into play. Now, Facebook recently changed, of course, right, how the boost button works. But it's, pretty much fill in the blank. They try to make it as easy as possible. Running ads out of the ads manager is a completely different beast, but I believe everybody on this call has the ability to kind of just read the instructions for the boosting, which is ultimately going to get that piece of content in front of more people. And the reason why this is so powerful is if you have a marketing company like GrowPro or any other marketing company, they should be taking those audiences of people that you're boosting and showing this to so that they can retarget them with an offer. All right. And the retargeting aspect of Facebook ads is what makes Facebook ads so powerful. Say like 30 some odd touch points before somebody will actually pull the trigger. Okay. All right. That's my presentation, but before we wrap up, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions on the framework that we went over, or, we can open it up. Any questions in general on social media marketing?
Chris,
Mr. Omar, yes, sir.
Question. How do you balance all of this stuff? Like I'm new to obviously the martial arts industry, and the biggest thing that I'm finding, or biggest challenge, is like finding the time to train and get, like because I train myself and I work all day, and so it's balancing the time? How do you guys do all this? Find time to make videos and content and all that stuff. Sorry if it's off topic. It's just a question.
No, it's a great question because, I mean, how do you do this, right? It's like, all right, Chris, you showed me what to do, but how do I do it? I personally think productivity, right? There's a lot of different trainings on productivity, but the absolute number way for you to be more productive, are you ready for this? Is to delegate. That's it. It's that you don't do it, that you have somebody else on your team do it. Miss Maggie Foster's on here. Miss Faith Borden are on here. They're not school owners. Maybe one day in the future, but they are the right hand to their instructors and they're on here, right? So it doesn't have to be you. That's the fastest way to productivity, is to delegate it. But you know, what happens when we delegate is we say, okay, go watch Chris's webinar and then I want you to implement. That is not delegation, because they really don't have the power to make the decision, right? Delegation is not only when I ask you to do something, but I give you the power to pull the trigger and make the decision. And that's why a lot of school owners kind of get tripped up when they say they delegated it. Well, they didn't really give the power of the decision to the person. So now that person has to come right back to them, which takes away your time, okay? For me, my biggest hack has been time blocking. So I own Gracie Pack MMA, BJJ and MMA school. I own Grow Pro Agency. We run ads for hundreds of martial arts schools. I work for Maya. Like, I am a W-2 employee for the Martial Arts Industry Association as a consultant. All right. I also have my own mastermind that I run called the A-Team Mastermind. I have a wife. I got 3 kids. How do I get it all done? Time blocking has been the #1 hack, productivity hack for me. And I mean, I'll share. This is actually like today. This is today right here. I use this time blocking sheet. It's on an iPad. Right now we're at 1 p.m. content webinar, right? I had 30 minutes to prep. Okay, all of this was filled in earlier today, but I'm one of those people that I like scratching stuff out when I'm done with it. On an iPad, I just erase it. But literally every single one of this, what did this look like? I had morning personal ritual. I also color coded. I went and trained at F45. Then I had my morning business ritual. Then I had Grow Pro meetings. So I had our level 10 Grow Pro meeting. I had a marketing meeting. I had our leadership meeting. And then I had my webinar prep in here, okay? After this, I get a 1-hour break. I'm just gonna go eat lunch. I haven't eaten lunch yet, okay? Then I have an employee review. I have a call with Mr. Tossel. I get a 30-minute break, usually where I'll go and check my emails again, and then I got a call. And then I have a hard non-negotiable of I need to leave the office at 5 o'clock so I can get home to my family. And this time blocking, I have 3 priority tasks that need to get done every single day. And then I have a task dump of all of the little things, all of the little, things that pop into my head. So for me, this has been the ideal way to become more productive. Maybe you don't like iPads. Maybe you like pen and paper. I mean, I used a Padfolio for like the last 3 years. And I just wanted to kind of come into the century, I guess, with the iPad. All right. But I think time blocking is the #1 thing. I also take everything that's on there and I put it on my Google Calendar. Why do I put it on my Google Calendar? Because I get a notification. And I'm like, oh, my watch just went off. All right, got to get ready for the content webinar. So for me, having those hard non-negotiables, right? Being home, I do not miss bath time with my son. Like, that is the hard non-negotiable. And I know that's tough as a school owner, guys. Like, we picked the #1, I think, business and job because it's our passion. But unfortunately, this job happens in the evening. That's it. It happens in the evening. And I wanted to position myself. One of my best memories growing up is I'm an only child, so it was just me, my mom, and my dad. eating dinner at our dinner table. We had this like all wooden dinner table. It was like this L shape. Some of my best memories was just us eating dinner. And I wanted to be able to have that with my son Cruz. But if I'm at the academy 6 days a week, can I have dinner? What time do you guys eat dinner? I mean, normally we eat dinner at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, right? So one of the best things about being an entrepreneur, if you set up your schedule and your business appropriately, is that you can choose what that schedule is going to look like. But Mr. Omar, you're right in the beginning. You just opened. You just opened after a pandemic, sir. So you are in grind time. This is hustle mode right there. And that's okay, right? Our business has seasons. There's going to be time where we got to grind, we got to go hard, and then there's going to be times that we can pull back. But to answer your question, delegating with the authority of making decisions is going to be the best way for you to get shit done. And then time blocking would be my top 2 recommendations.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Okay, awesome. Did you make a template for your time blocking? Can you share? Yes, Ms. Palos, I'll shoot you. I honestly Googled time blocking sheet, and this is like, I just downloaded it. I mean, if you look, it's kind of funny. If you look here, it's the bronze-eyed girl. I don't even know what that means, but that's who created this template. And you know, I think it's really important, guys, that you tell every single minute of what you're doing. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? Great question, Mr. Omar. Definitely not on this topic, but awesome. I think that's something that everybody, you know, will find value. Mr. Blackman, did you have a question, sir?
Yeah, real quick, ma'am. Would you put money, like a small amount of money, and boost these weekly videos?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like I said earlier, about 150 to 200 bucks a month should kind of be set aside. Facebook is going to prompt you to run it for 4 days. If you try to run it for less than 4 days, it's going to say, hey, you'll get better results by running it for 4 days. So, you know, if you do a video a week, you can run it for 4 to 7 days. You know, you're going to want to choose an audience that's local to you. So I think one of the mistakes that a lot of school owners make when they're boosting is they choose to show it to their followers. Well, the issue is a lot of school owners, when they first create their business pages, they share it with everybody. And you have a lot of martial arts schools that follow you. You have family members that aren't in your area that follow you. So when you choose that audience, you want to make sure it's an audience of people that are in your town based off of the demographics that you're trying to pull in. So if this was a video that was geared more towards parents, then my suggestion would be utilizing an audience of parents. Guys, this is a huge mistake that I see a lot of marketing companies make. So we get a lot of school owners that come from us from other marketing companies, and we can kind of see how they built out their ads. One of the biggest mistakes is only targeting moms, all right? And this is a very popular belief for a lot of times. And the issue with that is you just cut 50% of your audience. We run ads for a guy that only has 7,000 people in his town. That's it, 7,000 people. If I just say, you know, moms and not dads, well, I just cut his audience down to 3,500 people. Okay, so absolutely, Mr. Blackman, you need to take some money and you need to boost it. Think a good, like, you know, 150, 200, 300 bucks max will be enough for you to build audiences. And since we run your ads for you, we'll create those audiences and put them in your retargeting ads as well. Okay.
One more question about the community Facebook group. That's a public group other than like our school group.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
I do have one question.
Yes, ma'am. Let's hear it.
So when we do get to the stage of filming all of these videos, should we change do you suggest changing the background and maybe who's the face of the video just to kind of mix up the like what they're seeing?
100%. So yeah, if you look at the videos in the MAE group, sometimes I've got a gray background, sometimes I've got a white background. Sometimes we use a green screen so we can put videos in the back. Sometimes I'm at my conference table. Sometimes I'm at a whiteboard. Sometimes I've just got a blue wall behind me. Sometimes I have my team members behind me. And we have a very small office. I mean, it's 1,500 square feet, 500 square feet are bathroom and kitchen. So really, I got about 1,000 square feet that I can work with. Why do you also think I'm doing things like this, where I can move over here and talk to you? It's more engaging for the person that is watching. Do I think you need to get a multi-camera setup? No, I mean, this is in line with being a digital marketing agency and the amount of teaching that I do on Zoom. I was just trying to kind of level up the experience for people, but 100%. And it doesn't have to be in the martial arts school, right? I mean, it could just be like holding a selfie stick. I've done a couple with literally a selfie stick. I got it right here, and I'll just go out. And we got a doctor's office, a chiropractor, and an accountant right across the street. And they look at me like I'm crazy because I'm standing out in the parking lot with a selfie stick shooting content. So yes, you should mix up the background, because then otherwise it just looks like it's the same stuff every single day. We're going to be in Dallas. So we film every Monday at 11 a.m. I specifically chose Monday because I love Mondays, pumps me up on a Monday. And I chose 11 a.m. because my coffee and my tea has kicked in. So I know I'm going to be like primed for video. But this week I told Christina, our videographer, I said, you know what, let's not film, because we're going to be in Dallas, and I think I'll be seeing you. We're going to be in Dallas, and we're going to be at the Gaylord, and it's a beautiful hotel. We can get all of this different footage with having different backgrounds. So 100%, Miss Gordon, mix it up with the backgrounds, and don't be afraid to do, a little closer, maybe make sure you don't get the pores or anything, and, doing a little wider frame as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Awesome.
perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Miss Hamlin says, sweet camera setup. Thank you. I'm going to level it up here. You guys see I got some new lights behind as well. I see little lights going on. Yeah.
One thing about videotaping, Mr. Rodriguez, based on your recommendation, a gimbal is phenomenal.
Yes, Mr. Blackman recently got a gimbal. We're actually launching a beta program for our GoPro clients where you film and we edit the videos. And he is our very first beta client, and he was worried about the shakiness of the shots, so he went and got a gimbal, and it's been kind of night and day. They're about $150, guys. So if you're going to be moving around a lot, gimbal's great, but most of my videos are stagnant. Just, we call these talking head videos. You just can kind of see the head talking. Okay. All right, guys, it's 2:02. I hope you found value today. I really appreciate you guys taking some time and hanging out with me. You got your action steps. Go make a meeting, 20 to 30 minutes, collaborate with your team, come up with 12 topics, and then shoot those videos once a week, put them out, and put some money behind them. You got to boost it. All right. Appreciate you guys so much. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I'll see some of you guys in Dallas. Peace.